everyone, my name's Steph. I'm Botanist Cool. Today I'm here with the Ace Attorney expert herself,
Katie.
Katie! Hello guys. Sorry, we had a few technical glitches on my end. Hello everyone, I hope you're all doing well. Everyone say hello to YouTube as well. Hello YouTube. We're here continuing our Ace Attorney Chronicles adventures. And today we are doing the adventure of the Blossoming Attorney, which is Susato's adventure as an attorney for the first time. Yeah, so Susato's gonna do her attorneying stuff, and as we said before, we really thank you very much, Loki. We really wish that she had her Yume costume as the DLC and not this thing. It is blurry, and it might just be on my refresh real quick, Chip. It should be fine. Looks all good on my end.
It looks smooth. The video looks fine on my end too.
Aw, hell yeah. So yeah, I'm just gonna. I forgot to do this. But like I forgot to put on my foot brace. But when I came home, so put on that foot brace real quick, and then we're getting started. That's something that you guys typically need to hear about, though. Now you guys have to learn all about my feet. August 13th, 10:41. Take the setting off of auto for video quality. Ooh, that's a good point.
God, what did I give her for Reese? I'm so sorry, Susato. Something like that. I don't know. We'll find it.
Yeah, that went more on the lines of what's her name?
No idea.
She's like the main character in England.
Iris?
Is that Herlock's niece, essentially?
That is Herlock's roommate. They call each other roommates.
I mean, essentially, it's like his niece, right? Like at that point in time, may as well just be like, yeah, I'm Uncle Herlock.
I should have told you about the toxin. Ray. Oh wait, no, it's normal Susato. Whatever.
You have a strong sense of responsibility, I know. That's why you decided to shoulder the burden alone. I'll say that's why you shouldered the decided alone by accident. I was about to say that.
No, that's not it at all.
I wanted to murder someone.
I was just scared of my failure coming to light, that's all. So I hoped to retrieve the substance from the Englishwoman before anyone found out. Before the trial started, do you remember what you said, Susato?
God, I can't remember that far back.
They had no doubt in your mind about my innocence, that you'd stand by me to the last.
I don't know, it kind of seems sus now.
I remember. And yet I didn't deserve your trust in me. I hid important details from you, Susato. I completely betrayed your faith in me.
How dare she? No other defendant in Ace Attorney history has ever been this dishonest ever. Not a single one. Everyone from Matt on guard to... I forgot all the other lying ones. Not a single one has been this dishonest before. Oh, McGill did. Not a single one. Luke at me. Definitely not a liar. Thank you very much. Chip. It looks
To
like
be fair, we weren't defending Luke at me.
True, that is true. I feel that Chip has like become a junior Ace Attorney Lore Master. During his time being the clip master here. Whoa!
Susato, I deserve it. No, in fact, throw me to the floor. No, that's too good for me as well. Drag me through the city streets.
Jesus, no!
I'm no better, you know. Oh? Even though in my heart I knew that you'd pulled the knife blade from Miss Brett's back. There was just a brief moment when, in my mind, I doubted you.
Oh, wow.
Susato! I'm sorry. After I stood here and promised you that I'd stand by you and always be on your side, I betrayed your faith in me too. And as such, I failed you as a lawyer. Oh no, no!
I think the situation has taught you both a valuable lesson. Placing your unbridled faith in one another is no easy task.
Yes, Father. That fact has certainly struck home. Which is why I can see more clearly now. So, Ray. Yes? Can you find it in your heart to forgive me?
Aww.
Oh, Susato. You know you'll always be a gallant, dashing lawyer in my eyes now. Oh, Ray.
It's only a little gay. And we also defended Edgeworth, or however you spell that, and the guy with the scar is like, the guy with the scar was Matt on guard, yeah.
I was so scared, you know, when it happened. I didn't know what was going on. The English woman was sitting at the back of the hut, listening to what I was saying. I know it was you who stole the poison. Well now, whatever do you mean? And then, a moment later, she suddenly got to her feet. Before collapsing on the floor in front of me, with a knife in her back.
Rest in peace, the Swan.
It all happened right before my eyes. And you were the only people in the hut at the time. That's right, just Miss Brett and myself. There was no one else.
I thought that was a translation error for a second. It's like, so you were the only people in the hut. I'm like, don't you mean you were the only person in the hut? And it's like, right, Miss Brett was there. She was also there. She technically is a person even if she's dead. Right. My brain was just like, no. No, the Swan had kids from episode 1. Oh no. Oh no, the Swan's kids!
So I just don't understand how she could possibly have been stabbed like that.
A great mystery indeed.
I still can't believe it happened. That's why I just couldn't bring myself to speak up. It'll be alright. However it happened, whatever really went on by the sea that day, I promise you that I'm going to prove everything you've said you saw is true.
Spoken like a true Mikotoba. Now I think we should discuss what's coming up in the trial, don't you? We don't have much time. We must make sure we have our facts in order.
Yes, I expect the poison is going to come under close scrutiny in the upcoming proceedings. The police should hopefully have identified it on the blade by now. The trouble is, it's a completely new laboratory
Synthesization.
synthesized blend of alkaloids.
Pretty sure we use some alkaloids for like pesticides too, actually.
The police won't have any way of testing for it. Oh, I see.
Yes, without this chemical reagent, it's impossible to detect the toxin. Yeah, until now, exactly, Chip. He just pulls out the reagent, like, here, now we can do it.
Chemical reagent.
I sent a colleague of mine off with some earlier to deliver to the police headquarters. I think perhaps you should have some as well, though, just in case. We should put it in the pen. What's the matter, Susato? You sound you're suddenly very quiet.
it's this newspaper article. Exclusive deadly poison stolen from UMA Medical Research Laboratory. I'm wondering how the information got out, given that it was a government secret. It was all the Englishwoman's doing. What? It was when the professor and Suseki-san were being interviewed at the laboratory.
Larry Butts did it.
That so-called English lady swanned in and without any compunction said to Professor Mikotoba, "Oh, Professor, surely your guest would love to hear about your work on that substance there."
It put me in a very awkward position, to be frank. But Soseki-san's curiosity had been piqued, and I had little choice but to give a cursory introduction.
So then, Soseki-san knew about the poison.
Yes, and it's highly likely that the reporter who was writing up the story about us would have caught a glimpse of the toxin too.
This many Memo-san. By the way, did that reporter join you all when you went to the beach? Oh, no, I don't remember the reporter being there.
Indeed, he shouldn't have been. I very much doubt anyone would have wanted him there.
Oh?
A known criminal has been given permission by the authorities to bathe by the seaside. Soseki-san pointed that out by inviting a reporter might be problematic, so the man was sent back to his offices.
Yet he obviously didn't go back. He secretly followed the party to the beach and took this very candid photograph. And then presumably he posted it, anonymously, to the police. Ah!
Yes, that must be what happened. Counsel! We've just heard the new witness is ready to testify. The trial's about to resume. Please proceed to the courtroom at once. And I'm expecting in like a second. In just a fucking second, we're gonna see this guy rip off his non-existent mustache and be like, "But this is I, Herlock Sholmes. How have you not noticed it's me already? I've been here for 20 minutes, Susato." Did you see Yes and No? We did not see Yes and No today. It's time to steal ourselves again. Then, defense attorney Ryotaro Naruhodo.
Yes. Ray has put her faith in me now and told me everything. So I can't let her down. I have to prove that what she's telling the court is true. I have to prove what really happened that day.
I forgot. Ace Attorney, the base games take place in Japanifornia, and that's why that judge looks a little bit more like the English judge. And I was like, I wonder if like the English judge and the Japanese judge just like had kids and they got together.
It only takes place in Japanifornia in the English version. The other one is very much Japan.
Yeah,
but they very much. I love donuts. Too much of Ace Attorney. Like Maya's love for burgers is very much. I love jelly-filled donuts.
Yeah, it's supposed to be ramen.
Mm-hmm.
But apparently ramen didn't exist in the United States in the 2000s.
I mean, it probably just was. It definitely wasn't as well known, I feel. But then again, I was a small child, so who knows?
It was probably mostly a college food.
Mm.
As is time in memoriam. I hereby call this court to order as we reconvene to continue the trial of Ray Membami. Prosecutor Aochi, have you summoned the new witness? Oh, fuck this guy. Let me be an asshole! Before I address your question, Your Excellency, I have some very important news to share. Oh?
What news? And why does he look so happy about it?
Ray's guilty because I chose she is. Fuck you. Anyways, during the recess, the collaboration of the professor at Emotes Laboratory University, the police re-examined the knife that was used to end Miss Jezebel's rat's life. Excellent. I admire your rapid handling of the matter. Oh, too kind, Your Excellency, too kind. I was merely carrying out your instructions, of course. I had the reagent delivered to the police headquarters by rickshaw, so it should be there in good time. But, but judging by the man's swagger, I fear we might need to brace ourselves for the inevitable.
And counsel, what were the results?
We will make him bald. I hope that Mikotoba does have like a fucking samurai sword. You just like shing, get that last bit of hair off there. This dagger was cruelly used to end the life of the victim. There's no trace of poison anywhere along its blade.
What? Are you sure about that?
I would stake the reputation of the police on it. Armed with the reagents, the test is extremely simple. They couldn't have made a mistake. In short, the accused's feeble excuse earlier has been utterly destroyed.
Oh.
Now the prosecution is ready to call the new witness. Oh, the newspaper reporter who managed to capture a photograph of the crucial moment. Good. Very well, officer. Bring in the new witness.
No trace of poison on the knife. But if that's really the case, how could the toxin have entered the victim's body?
Wait a second, your name and occupation for the court. Fuck, what's this guy's voice gonna be? Fuck, what's this guy's voice gonna be?
He's a very enthusiastic character, if that helps.
He feels like a fuckboy, though.
In what sense?
He gives off real, I just left the fraternity and my dad got me my dream job at a newspaper fuckboy.
I wouldn't say he has that energy.
He looks like he draws one line and throws away the paper. Oh my god. Although he what?
I was saying you can voice him any way you want, of course, but if it helps, I wouldn't give him that. He's very dedicated in a sense.
In a sense, okay. In a sense, he creates news stories by doing the murders. That's his dedication. Oh.
He's, yeah, very energetic. He does his puffing up sprite is like snapping his, what do you call them? The strap thing.
You know what? Kind of like that. Right 10 Minimoto, the Shoyo News. I'm what the people call a giorno. A giorno. Do the Larry Butts voice. No. What people call a giorno.
What's a giorno, father? Do you know?
Fuck if I know. People are weird these days. It's simply a contraction of journalist. I'm there when the news breaks, putting pen to paper and catch these scoops when they're in the print the next morning. They don't call me the hero of the Herald for nothing. The nice guys of news. He's just called himself a nice guy. What do you mean he's not a fuckboy? That does kind of look painful.
Oh, so it was you who took this photograph, was it?
Well, what have we here?
I'm sorry?
Oh, brace yourselves, people! Many Menno senses a scoop in the offing. Female student ups to foul play defended by curiously handsome young lawyer in Supreme Court. The readers will lap this up, will set it up to fold the Full that 72 point in 5-leg format at the morning edition. Shoot, chill.
See, the reason I said he's not a fuckboy is no fuckboy talks like that.
It's a fair point. You know what? This guy actually has dedication to his craft. Fuckboys don't.
Huh?
You see, here's the thing that's bothering me right now. People lick the tip of their pens to get the ball or the ballpoint whirling, right? Why is he licking a fucking graphite pencil?
So actually, people used to lick graphite because it used to be of poor quality and it'd help it get it started. I googled this.
Oh, okay. I thought it was like a ballpoint vending.
Like, I think it's actually like was originally pencils and not pens.
Oh.
But.
Well, okay. You know what?
I'm not 100% sure on that, but when I googled why do people lick their pencils, that's what it was told.
He gives
it would help get it started. And now it's entirely useless, but and probably not good for you. But
you're gonna love this comment, by the way. Chip says he gives off the grape kid from My Hero Academia vibes.
No, please. No one's vibes are that rancid.
Yeah, Katie has a thing against that guy, big time.
I hate that guy with a burning passion.
An absolute burning passion. Oh my god.
It's just.
Wait, you're gonna
listen, like those types of characters are always annoying, no matter what.
Yeah.
But at least other ones have the decency to give them something.
This one has nothing.
Something other than just being the worst. And that just doesn't exist with this guy.
No. Alright then, let's start with your name.
Oh, it's Ryutaru Naruhodo.
Next, what made you become a lawyer?
I wanted to reform the country's legal system, I suppose.
Ryutaro has started to become very ambitious, I see.
I just borrowed Kazuma-sama's dream for a while.
By the way, the name's Takeshi Aochi. That is Taketuchi Aochi. The so-called Dark Horse of the Supreme Court. My objections strike fear to every defense lawyer's heart. Actually, I think I said this to you before, but apparently, Prosecutor Payne in the future had the longest unbroken streak of prosecutions, like, in the Ace Attorney franchise at 7 years until Phoenix came around.
That's not true.
No, it's not.
That can't possibly be true because Mia beat him. Right? Yeah, so I think it's just that, like...
Hold on, I sent this to you.
Remember, because, like, they called him the Rookie Killer.
Because he murdered rookies. Yeah, I sent you this. I sent you a Facebook short about it. What's the pain held the perfect one record?
I'll need to see, but it can't have been until Phoenix came along. Because...
I mean, Mia
beat him.
Mia was in law like 5 or 6 years before Phoenix, though, right?
Yeah, that's not 7.
That's still longer than Edgeworth's 4. Does 5 and 6 come after 4?
Hold on, what are you talking? You'll have to send me the thing.
Here, I'll send. I'll send it to you again.
I know it was called the Rookie Killer. I didn't remember if that was an unbroken streak.
Yeah, here, I'm sending it to you again.
It was just notorious for killing rookies.
Just sent it to you. Just sent it to you. Just send it to you. You can take a look at it at your own time. Why does he have paint on his hand? Nah, man, that's gonna be fucking evidence soon. I can already tell that's gonna be something that's like, there is ink on your hand from a pen that you stole and replaced the poison with. That's gonna be one of our linchpins in this case. No, the readers won't buy that. What? Witness! Yes! What this court demands to know is whether or not you were responsible for taking this picture. It was delivered anonymously to the Imperial Police Bureau only yesterday.
Oh, it's Apollo Justice. Okay, interesting. Okay.
Oh, they use the Apollo. Oh, okay, so like after Phoenix got disbarred. That would make sense, actually. Huh. But I mean, Edgeworth has still been a prosecutor when Phoenix was disbarred, right? Yeah, well, later.
Edgeworth ceased to exist a little bit in Apollo Justice.
Oh no.
So like, there is that, but like, also, it's complicated. It's complicated. Basically, long story short, there's the whole thing where it's like Edgeworth having a undefeated win record would kind of go against his character arc of finding the truth always, because what are the chances of always
being right,
having a client that's guilty, basically.
Yeah.
So,
especially in the Ace Attorney world where every murder is overly complicated and able to be pointed at stuff. FNL, exactly. What is he doing? He's viciously writing right now. Like, he is so vicious. What he's doing right now is he's writing down everything Katie and I are talking about to make the Apollo Justice game in his world so he can sell and make millions, okay? Like, that's what he's doing right now. Now, all we gotta do is tell him about Apollo Justice's 20 different backgrounds. That way he won't know which one to write.
Exactly. He'll be writing for 10,000 years trying to straighten out those 3 canonical backgrounds.
I hate that it's 3 different canonical backgrounds.
To be fair, one of them doesn't really to be fair, like, in the original one, he doesn't have much of a background. He's just kind of there. It's very funny. It's just like, Phoenix did it to save someone who is important to him. Why did Apollo do it? He thought law was cool.
Hell yeah.
He just thought law was cool. Which is why he's perpetually done with everyone. He's like, why do I have to put up with this? I thought law was cool, guys. So 2
of the 3 canonical backgrounds contradict each other.
It's like, he doesn't really have one in Apollo Justice. In Ace Attorney 5, they kind of give him a little bit of a background that, like, seems different. I don't think it outright contradicts anything, but it gives him a little bit. And then Ace Attorney 6 comes along, and it's like, what the hell is going on?
All I know about Ace Attorney 6 is that we get to see Edgeworth in glasses, and by fucking George, he's hot.
You get to see him that way, technically, in Ace Attorney 5, too. Briefly. He's
definitely got tendonitis. Right, let's get back to Mr. Tendonitis, man. But I'm just saying, Edgeworth rocks a set of glasses, alright? If I grow up to be as sleek as Edgeworth, fuck, he's my age!
It's also cute.
This hurts.
Oh yeah, Edgeworth is like, well, I mean, when he has glasses, he's like 35, but...
Okay, so I have 5 more years to look as cool as Edgeworth, is what you're saying.
Basically.
Okay, cool. I gotta start doing anime workouts to get that top and, like, legs being 12 times as long as my torso. Yeah, I wouldn't be enjoying if I didn't click quick with the percentage, like, if I didn't click quick when presented with a scoop like that, would I? Sometimes stories call to me, sometimes I have to chase them down, but either way, you gotta be fast. Gotta go fast. You're the fake journalist.
The Sonic voice?
Because he said I gotta go fast.
No, I said, what if you just for the rest of us gave him the Sonic voice?
Fuck yeah, let's go. You're too slow. Okay, hold on. Let's go with the shot. All right, here we go.
Chili dogs.
Chili dogs? I love me some chili dogs. That's why I went to that beach party to get those chili dogs. But then I caught a murder happening. Oh, look, that's the fake reporter over there. Fake reporter? You're the fake reporter. Fast legs to run with and a hand to write with. It's no good if you don't note it down, I always say. And hey, get a Chaos Emerald on the way! Ha ha! Chili dogs. That's what I call... That's what they call my many Moazin.
Many memoism.
Many memoism. Fuck this dude's name, though. Oh, yes, I remember your face. We met the day you were interviewing myself and Soseki-san. Yeah, that's right. That's me. Many Menno again. But you were supposed to be going back to the Shoyo news office after our meeting. But the scoop is, I didn't. Because that Englishwoman's word had piqued my journalistic interest.
Miss Brett's words.
A criminal left to do what she pleases just because she happened to be the British citizen? That's horseshit! This country's judiciary is rotten to the core. And no amount of chili dogs can make up for that. The Supreme Court's rulings aren't even worth the paper they're written on. The police are just imperial pawns. Okay. Say your tongue, young man. There are complex political issues at play. Well, anyway, I quickly jotted down those words, and she said my many memo pat. Fuck you, game. Fuck you, game. This sucks. This sucks. This is the worst. This is the fucking worst. How did he make his pencil whole? Is that what you're asking? Did he like crush his pencil? Did he make it whole again? That's called a magic trick.
He got a new one. He has 500,000 pencils.
Yeah, he pulled a pencil out of a pencil. He used
like a magician. He see how he has a pencil under one ear? He also keeps pulling them out of his other ear like a magician.
Exactly. Many memo pad. Fuck this. Are you ready? I'll read it out. Here it goes. I should like to go for everyone to see your country's coast. A serious criminal on some junket. These people need to know about this. Oh, he threw it down and then pulled out a new one from his ear. That's what I decided to sneak after them. To get the woman's story so I could hammer her in the press. You mean to say that you did indeed witness it firsthand? The grim scene portrayed in this photograph. The worst part is, you know what that reminds me of?
Look at his arms. He's a little bit buff.
He does kind of have that buffness. But you know what
Just a little.
You know what that reminds me of, though, and you're gonna hate this? The clown girl. And pulling the things out.
You know my thoughts, and I don't remember if Twitch chat knows my thoughts. But you know my thoughts on this.
I do know your thoughts on this, yeah.
And in case Twitch chat doesn't know, my thoughts are basically like April May is right there and better. I don't know why you went for the clown girl when all the aesthetics are there in April May except the clown part. So it can only be the clown part.
Yeah, it can only be the clown part. Some people like clowning around.
And not even real.
They're balloons! That's not her literal name. No, it's not her literal name.
Not her literal name, not even slightly.
What is her literal name? Do you remember?
I don't remember, because she's a nobody from a nothing case.
I do remember that we had looked up some things about this, and yeah, that's all I'm gonna say about that. Actually, I'm not gonna dig myself into TOS hole real quick. Let's not do that. But yeah, no, she's just balloons.
Her name's Gieru, so like, you know, it's so dumb.
April May's there. She's real.
Right there with real boobs. I'm sorry, I had to say. Clown boobs are fake. April May is right there. She's pink. She has similar hair. And she has real boobs.
She has hearts everywhere too.
Everyone went feral over the clown girl. It confuses me to no end.
As is wants of the internet. Oh yes, I saw my very own journal eyes. From the start to finish, through the viewfinder Excuse me. I did end up choking a bit. Ooh. From the viewfinder of my trusty camera. Thank you, Many Memo-san. You will now give a formal testimony before the court. You will say exactly what it is you witnessed on the events surrounding Miss Brett's death. Plus, the best clown in this game series is by far Mo. That beach hut was made of shoddy old reed screens, so there was plenty of gaps that I could see inside through. Jesus Christ, you sound like a creeper. The English woman was sitting on a stool when the student girl came in and started arguing with her. Seconds later, the girl pulled out a knife, throwing the English woman to the floor and stabbed her in the back. Holy shit, okay. My smoldering journal spirit burst into flames. Quick as a flash, I whipped out the camera, ready to click. I pulled apart the rough weave of one of the screens and poked my lens through for the perfect shot. No wonder why he's buff. He keeps holding the shot.
Read screens, you say?
Right, you can see them clearly enough in this great shot I snapped. That walls are screens are made of coarsely woven weeds. I don't want to remember Mo. I do want to remember Mo. Yes, it allows the breeze to pass through and bring some relief from the summer heat. And it was a breeze for me to poke my camera through and see the whole thing hotting up.
Ignoring for the time being the appalling invasion of privacy involved. Did you witness everything that happened from the moment the defendant entered the hut?
Oh yeah, I saw everything. I saw the whole thing from start to finish.
And you say you took the photograph through a gap in one of the screens.
Luckily for me, they were pretty shoddily woven. I pulled the reeds apart and thrust the lens of my camera through that gap. I hate that thrust is emphasized. Would I get away with it or would I be seen? It was a gamble of a lifetime. It's an nasty improvement. It's considered admirable in a journalist, I suppose. Best clown. The best clown was Larry. Yeah. Yeah, he was a clown, wasn't he? He was just a clown. Not even job-wise. It was just a fucking clown.
It's a shame. There was potential with Larry, and they just were like, no, actually, we're gonna make him off.
What do you mean awful? He was obviously the most in-depth, well-woven character, falling in love with everyone.
He was fine in Ace Attorney 1. Ace Attorney 2, he was okay. Ace Attorney 3, he kind of fell off a bit.
I mean, there's not much you can do with that kind of character, to be fair. But yeah. Run a risk one day, run a scoop the next. That's the... That's many memoism in a nutshell. Many memo. Hey, Larry's like the Brock and this dude is like the Grape Kid. Oh my god. Unless here we have a genuine witness to this wicked crime. The evidence and testimony are extremely compelling. I believe we may be close to a verdict.
No.
Wonderful news, Your Excellency. Wonderful. Nevertheless, it can't be denied. This testimony begs only one very large question. What question? Exclusive news, a startling photograph, all the markings of an accessible story for the reporter. Why then was the story never published?
Oh, that's right.
It seems clear to me that there are circumstances at play here that are yet to be understood. Ha! More pathetic excuses! Very well, Counsel. Proceed with your cross-examination.
Yes, Your Excellency. There's more to this reporter than meets the eye. He's keeping something about this case very close to his chest.
Will that be his literal camera? He even does the same suspender pulling, like, yeah, exactly. That's what that came from. That's why I'm like, hey, Katie, you remind me. Do you remember? Just say clown girl. We don't need to say that. Just say clown girl.
What made you want to see what was happening inside the beach hut in the first place?
College Yono instinct. Can you think of a better reason? Oh, God.
Oh, I don't know. Perhaps as well as being a proven criminal, the person inside was a young woman.
I see where you're going with this. Brace yourselves, people. He's painting the journal as a voyeur.
It's hardly slander, sir. You had a camera and you were taking pictures without the woman's knowledge.
Nope, you got it all wrong, little student boy.
Sorry?
To my mind, all else inside the hut was a scoop. Nothing more, nothing. Oh my God. Do journalistic ethics not exist in this time period yet, Many Memo? Scoops know no gender, man or woman. It's all news. That's not even Many Memoism. That's basic journalism.
If only the courtroom was as indiscriminate.
Right, so if it's all buttoned up, we can move on. Tell the court, then witness, what sight befell your eyes when you looked inside the hut. A sight that vindicated my journal instinct, that's what. That's why I pulled back to read. I could see us clear as day.
So we actually saw Membame-san entering the hut.
There's so many M names in this one that's fucking me up.
A bit, yeah.
Yep, and she was raging like my journal spirit.
And the argument you mentioned, what was that about exactly?
You stole it, I didn't steal it, that kind of thing.
Talking about the poison, I suppose.
The student girl walked right up to the English woman and really started laying into her. I mean, she laid into her any more, there would have been eggs. This man should have been an author. His descriptive talents are wasted on journalism. But the student's ranting fell on deaf ears like a Japanese person listening to English for the first time.
Really ought to work on his similes first, though, to be honest.
Anyway, the point is, that woman in the dock was mighty angry. And her temper finally got the better of her, it seems. Dear me. Which was the climactic moment I caught on film. Jesus. Sure, there's a sound effect for that thing breaking in half.
Do you swear before this court that you actually saw the precise moment when the stabbing took place?
Ha! The precise moment I didn't see just that. I saw the whole hellish scene play out, from start to finish. I have a simple plan of the beach hut. Perhaps you could use it to explain to court exactly what you witnessed. Right you are! It's all here in my many memo pad. God damn it. When I first peered into the hut, I'm sure that the English woman was on this stool at the back of the hut here. Yes, the accused will testify confirmed that.
She just sat at the back of the hut, smiling sweetly, is what I have noted down.
It's my turn to testify now. Try not to interrupt.
Ugh.
Then the next moment, as I was watching, the evil student girl entered the hut. After a while, the pair of them ended up in the middle of the hut, arguing furiously. The Englishwoman went for the student, but the girl dodged out of the way. And in the flash, plunged the knife into her adversary's back as the two passed each other. So at the best, you're describing self-defense. What you describe as a grim crime indeed. Never sugarcoat the truth. That's what many Memoism says. where were you, my friend?
By the way, Memi-Meno-san, whilst you were watching that terrible scene unfold before your eyes through the gap in the screen, it did not occur to you to try and prevent the tragedy rather than capture it on film.
Journalists have to be observers. We can't get involved. That's our raison d'etre.
So you didn't converse with Miss Brett at all?
Obviously not. An observer always remains on the outside looking in. That's literally voyeurism here, buddy.
And that's something to be proud of, is it?
Your Excellency, if I may. Yes, Professor. I think the witness's last accurately phrased statement should perhaps be added to his formal testimony.
Father, what are you...
I will grant the defense request. Memo-san, you will supplement your formal testimony with the aforementioned statement. But I was in the foundation of Memo-ism, but I'll gladly prove that my words aren't meaningless. Oh my god. I never once set foot in the hut or spoke with the Englishwoman. That I was only there as an observer. Now I know I can prove this wrong. I have the pen. But let's not see what I got out of him.
Really, you didn't set foot inside the hut at all? Are you quite sure about that?
I think you made the wrong impression of me. We're talking about a murder scene here, and I only like chili dogs. My nerves are stretched to the breaking point already.
Oh, I see. You were scared. Maybe I did have the wrong impression of you, yes.
Oh, get dunked on! It was all I could do to stifle a scream and hold my hand steady to snap the shot. You really should have summoned help before thinking of your camera. Many Memo-isms and humanisms don't always agree. And most of the time in those instances, Memo-ism comes out on top. As a sculptor of stories, sometimes I have to be cruel for my art. Yes, that's spot on.
Surely he's making all this up.
He claims to have spied on the whole affair to start with, from start to finish. If true, his testimony was devastating.
But it does seem as though he's holding something back, doesn't it?
If that's how you feel, I suggest you trust your instincts and press him on everything he said. As you've no doubt seen many times before in your role as judicial assistant.
Yes, I have. I've seen witnesses like this pressed often. I know exactly what to do.
Now, before I do anything, I am going to save because I am want to put in wrong. Remember that one time? I think it was like literally at the end of the last.
Like 3 times in a row, right?
And I just fucking messed up every single goddamn one. It was like the last case too.
Memi-Meno-san, up until now I've had a firm belief that newspapers are in the business of uncovering and publishing the truth.
You're spot on there. The press doesn't lie, which is why I'm proud to wear the emblem of the Shoyo News on my arm. Oh boy. In a way, that's more Memi-Memo-ism.
Sadly, though, it seems the journalists who write for those papers don't always share the same passion for the truth.
Damn. We know you went inside because of the 100 broken pencils in the room. Yeah, there's so many broken pencils. In fact, the shack itself was woven out of broken pencils, not actually reeds. What are you suggesting? The recriminatory words, Counsel?
Memi-Memo-san, do you recognize this fountain pen?
Ah!
This pen was found at the scene of Miss Brett's death. In fact, the murder victim was gripping it in her hand as she died.
But what are you...
If you look at the barrel of the pen, you'll notice that its owner's initials are engraved there. RM.
Yes, thank you for bringing that up, Counsel. The initials of the accused, Ray Membombi.
Is it a coincidence, I wonder, that your initials are also RM?
No!
Write in many memo, RM.
That's horse dung. Can't you see one of the central types of memoism is being a pencil user?
And yet, the court will clearly be able to see on your right hand. There's a very obvious blue ink stain.
It would appear that you must have rather carelessly left it somewhere recently. Your favorite fountain pen, that is. Horsey horse dung. Hey, Ghost.
Many memo-san, is it not the case that before she died...
Chip, please make sure to call Ghost Ghost, yeah? They don't want to be called Gremlin.
You met with Giselle Brett in the beach hut.
Why should we listen to this absurd nonsense? It's nothing but another excuse. Exactly. Sure, you will stand behind me all the way. I deny everything. There must be as many people with the initials RM as there are stars in the sky.
The defense has neither the time nor the inclination to count every star in the sky.
Damn.
And there's no need anyway, because this pen has more to tell. Yes, there is another clue. A clue that undeniably proves who its owner really is.
In that case, counsel, the defense will now show the court where the alleged clue lies.
Of course, Your Excellency. Clue on this fountain pen that clearly reveals its owner's identity is... As well as the initials, there's also an emblem on this fountain pen. An emblem you will of course recognize. Many memo-san.
Hell yeah, let's go. Ah! Goodness me, it's the emblem of Shoyo News.
In other words, the owner of this pen...
God damn, let's go.
...is an employee of the Shoyu News, whose initials are RM. Suddenly, the stars in the night sky don't seem so numerous, do they?
Damn, let's go! Fucking dunk on him.
Well, Many Memo-san, how do you respond?
What's the difference between a fountain pen and a normal pen?
There's something about the way the ink goes.
Normal pen uses a ballpoint. A fountain has like a hole that it goes through and has an inkwell on top, if I recall correctly.
Right, yeah, I think so.
You'll have to look that up though, Chip. I do not have the answer to that. I hope you're doing good, Ghost, homie. No! Order, order! Explain yourself, witness. So, this is how the mighty Supreme Court works, is it? Using coercive tactics to have well-meaning citizens reveal harmless secrets.
I've used nothing but honest tactics.
Alright then, fine. I won't try to hide it anymore. Yes, not long before the grim tragedy unfolded, I, a Shoyo News reporter on behalf of the public, that's a gun, conducted an interview of the Englishwoman.
An interview?
You! Never mentioned this before!
When exactly was this?
As I said, it was before the evil little student girl showed her face in the hut. I couldn't have lasted more than 2 or 3 minutes, that's all. Just a brief exchange. But it came to nothing, and as we many memoists say, that people don't pay their dues for unworthy news. However significant you deem it, this court cannot overlook you meeting yourself and the victim. The meeting between yourself and the victim. You will testify under oath of the precise nature of this meeting and what transpired. Got it, yeah, alright, but on one condition. Condition? In all good conscience, I couldn't speak out alone about this. You need to call back the earlier witnesses, Soseki Natsume-san.
Soseki-san.
Oh yes, according to my notes here, that man has a secret of his own, embrace yourselves. Because it's not a harmless one, it's big. What?
What?
Many memoism states that one man's secret is every other man's front page story. Very well, grant the witness's request in this instance. My family are yelling at each other about tectonic plates. Oh, I love talking about tectonic plates. They're always crushing. Officer, summon the early witness back to the stand.
Soseki-san, hiding something?
It's a goddamn cat again. Ah, fuck yeah. Let's go, Soseki. I asked the English woman for an interview, but she declined, so I left the hut without making a fuss. Then, watching secretly from outside, I saw the woman being stabbed and the other witnesses come running. The detective realized that the victim still had a pulse, so he ran off the fat shelf. What? That's when this writer man here asked the woman a significant question. But he didn't say anything about that in his testimony, which is why memoism demands I reveal it now. What's the fucking question, asshole? You mean to say the victim? The victim remained conscious! Well... And when she did, you decided to ask her a question! That's, true. Yes. He did. And that's not all. The woman gave him a very definite answer. An answer that incriminates the accused. Oh, shit. This reporter's coming over here with us now! Why didn't you mention this before, you yokel hack? It wasn't even a conversation! Yes, I did pose the usual questions and deny it. But she could no longer speak! She was barely conscious even! Counsel for the defense, I expect a thorough cross-examination to be conducted here. The counsel must and will know the truth.
Absolutely, Your Excellency. The reporter is claiming that Miss Brett implicated Ray somehow. What on earth could have happened in that hut?
Hey, Judge, you don't want a full testimony here? You want me to drag it the fuck out of him? Come on. Ugh.
You asked her for an interview, you say?
Well, of course I did. I wanted to ask her about the incident she was involved in at the end of last year.
About the case in which John H. Wilson lost his life.
That's not the way I phrase it. Memory Memos calls for straight talking. I want to shove the pen down Memory Memo's fucking throat. Same. Why did you murder Dr. Wilson is how I put it to her.
Yes, that sort of talking is as straight as a ruler.
Is it as straight as Larry Butts? That's the real question. Ask every question that you're asking for a menu in a restaurant. Wait. Ask every question as if you're asking for a menu in a restaurant. I say it's the best way. Can I have a menu? I'm curious to see what you have, what you're cooking up. Did you murder someone? I'm curious to see what you're... Oh my god, that actually works. Holy shit, it kind of actually works. What the fuck?
Yeah.
Oh my god, that actually really works! I hate this! Oh my god. It's question, reason. Can I have a menu? I want to see what the restaurant serves. Why did you murder him? I want to know your motives. Oh my god, I hate this. See you later, Ghost. Stay fresh. This is horrible, Katie. Why are you making me do this? Now I have to agree with
I don't even know what you're really that distressed about, but okay.
A veteran of the paper taught me that.
And how did Miss Brett answer?
With one simple phrase. Mystery's a woman's charm. Woo, that told me, so I waltzed right out of there.
Really, something about that doesn't quite seem to fit together.
Leave every room as if you're waltzing into a dance hall. I say, it's the best way. A veteran of the paper taught me that.
That was very persistent of you, considering that Miss Brett had just turned you away.
Persistence wins the prize. And remember, oh my god, I fucking hate this fucking word, which is his name. Let them think you left, and just when they lower their guard, that's when you swoop in for the scoop. And at first we labor all too prepared from this telling photograph, though I'm sure the young yokel student would rather not be reminded of the damning evidence.
I think the joke of his name is Many Memo. Like, I take many memos.
That's what I've been thinking of this too.
If that helps you say it.
That's
if that helps you say it, perhaps. If you think of it as Many Memo instead.
That's what I've been trying to think of it as, like many memos. Like I kind of understood that, but like it's just a tongue twister.
It is.
If only I was actually Ryunosuke good with tongue twisters.
Yeah. Once you get the hang of it, it slips off the tongue easier, but wrapping your head around it and not getting stuck on it is the hard part. Yeah. Actually, it's thanks to that photograph that we managed to identify this witness.
And now that you found me, I'll tell you whatever you need to know. I got nothing to hide!
I'm sure.
Please do go ahead, witness. The court is eager to hear what you have to say. Try to stop me. There's a story to tell here, and I'm going to tell it.
And Suseki-san remained behind in the hut.
That's right, yep. Our author friend here was a blabbering wreck, shaking all over from his head to his toes. Mustache twitching, eyes bulging. What do you expect? You don't even know the terrifying trouble that taunts me whilst traveling abroad. Back behind, baleful boars! They're coming for me, surely! That's all you think. If it was over, grasp me for air dry because I see a cold sweat.
Poor Suseki-san. His experiences in London have scarred him deeply. To be fair, yeah, that would be my thoughts too. If I was convicted for murder twice and then someone else dropped it, I'd be like, it's happening again.
Maya was able to deal with it really well for like 6 times in a row, though.
Yeah, but Maya's Maya.
Maya was able to talk to dead people. It's fine. As the world seemed to close in around me, I quietly recited a prayer to Amida Buddha. Eternal emptiness, empty eternity! What? The end is surely coming for me, surely! No sutras are to respond to my courtroom, please. And now we come to the crucial part. That's when it happened.
What question? What exactly did he say?
Well, now you should hear that from the horse's mouth, I think. Don't you, Mr. Rider-Man? Out with it, you yokel hack! If I don't like you, you're just a yokel, okay? What did you say to her? What did you say to the Dice English woman? Oh, the truth. I've been catching crabs at the water's edge and building castles in the sand, you see. Well, the seaside is a place of leisure, I suppose, even for a grown man.
Even for a grown man, right next to the killer.
Right next to the, also previously
Right
before,
next to
right?
a murderer.
Yeah.
In a
But also, like, previously before, right next to a man who was in a bathing suit pretending to be a turtle, like 10 minutes ago. But then
I didn't notice him. He was too good in disguise.
They actually thought it was the turtle testifying. And then all of a sudden, from the beach hut, a young girl's panic stricken screams, "Mercy here!"
Ray.
I ran up to the beach to see what was happening, to find a defendant leaning over the collapsed victim. As soon as Inspector Hoslaka saw him spread on the ground, he went off to get help. And then, just a moment later, I heard a faint moan. A moan from the dead Englishwoman. I nearly jumped out of my skin.
But what did you ask her, Soseki-san?
I asked her, "Who did this to you?" Don't project any longer. How did this woman respond? She didn't. She said nothing in response. But when in the stand, you will answer the questions asked of you unambiguously. Now, without evasion or retract, I demand that you amend your testimony. I will! Okay.
So you tried to find out who the culprit was.
He who asks a question is a fool for a minute. He who does not remains a fool forever. And having been labeled a criminal twice during my time in Great Britain, I was quick to make up my mind. Better be a fool for a minute than remain a fool in prison forever. However, you denied that the victim failed to respond. Is that correct? No, why? No, why English said nothing. She was ignoring me because of my stoop, and mustache because I'm Japanese.
Oh dear, Soseki-san really has developed a dislike for the English, it seems.
He's the murderer. Having read his report of time in Great Britain, I can't say I'm surprised at his xenophobia. But the English woman didn't ignore you at all, did she, Mr. Writer-Man? Oh, yes, all right. She did respond in a manner of speed, I suppose.
Miss Brett pointed a finger at the defendant. Soseki-san, is that really true?
It's not easy to stand here and say this, but when we first entered the beach hut, the Englishwoman was sprawled on the floor before us, with a student girl standing on the far side of her. And when I asked who did this to you, the Englishwoman summoned her last ounce of strength to point out a trembling finger at the back of the hut. Which was, it can't be denied, in the direction of the student girl who stands accused today. Hey, conveniently also the direction of the other guy, Memo-san.
No.
So why on earth did you neglect to mention this in your original testimony? But, fiddlesticks, I say! This is not a British court of law. You will respond in Japanese. Yes, of course, the Englishwoman did point her finger towards the back of the hut, but I was trembling, and she was trembling, and everything was a blur, and thinking about it, I feel as though perhaps she was pointing in a slightly different direction. Actually, no, not saying in a very different direction from where the student girl was standing. To somewhere in the back of the hut where nobody was standing at all.
You mean that your memory of events and the direction in which the victim was pointing are both unclear?
Yes, that's it. Unclear. I'm very, very unclear. Your Excellency, surely this proves the matter beyond all reasonable doubt. Yes, the woman may have barely been conscious, and yes, perhaps her finger wavered slightly. But there can be no doubt that this was an attempt by the victim to confirm the identity of her assailant. Why? Because as the courtroom could see, there was no one else other than the accused and in the direction of the victim was pointing. And it's now abundantly clear that no one besides the accused could have committed this crime. I am inclined to agree. In the absence of any credible argument to the contrary, I believe we could now conclude this trial.
No. No!
The headline's writing itself. Dashing lawyers hope dash. 92 point across the whole page. Well done, extradition. This is a serious blow, Susato. Unless we're able to identify the true culprit and substantiate our claim with evidence, the judge will give his ruling and the trial will be over.
But that's impossible, Father. We don't even know how the crime was committed yet.
Impossible though the task may seem, we have no choice. We must think back over everything we learned thus far. Somewhere in all these details, I'm confident we will find the clue we need.
Ray gave us her account of how events unfolded in the defendant's antechamber before the trial resumed. She told us what happened at the precise moment Miss Brett was killed. The Englishwoman was sitting at the back of the hut, listening to what I was saying. Then a moment later, she suddenly got to her feet, before collapsing on the floor in front of me, with a knife in her back. How could Miss Brett been stabbed in the back in a beach hut that was empty but for herself and Ray? Somewhere amid all the information we've gathered so far, there must be an answer to that question.
I take it then that the defense has nothing further to add. So the gallant yokel student luck finally runs out. I can't say I'm surprised. In that case, I'm ready to deliver my final verdict on this matter.
This is a crucial turning point now. If I can't establish what really happened, it's over. Where was the real culprit hiding? And how did he or she stab the victim?
Objection!
I want to hear this objection song, so I know it's like this is the only time I'm ever going to hear it.
Your Excellency, I respectfully ask you to postpone your adjudication for the time being.
Oh, to what end, counsel?
The defense would like to present the court with an alternative theory. An alternative theory that can explain who the victim was actually trying to implicate with her dying gesture.
Objection!
An alternative theory? Ha! None exists!
Listen to me, goddammit. There was someone else present at the scene who could have committed this crime.
What?
And the victim, Miss Brett, tried to reveal who it was to those around her at the time. By mustering all her remaining strength, and pointing a trembling finger in her killer's direction.
This is fiction fantasy! Very well, as you seem so sure of yourself, counsel, I am prepared to hear your alternative theory. So, young Ryotaro Naruhodo.
Yes, Your Excellency.
You will present your latest theory to the court by means of this plan. At the moment the victim was stabbed, where exactly are you proposing the culprit was concealed? Right about here, honestly. Let me save. Because he does come in a little at the side of that picture. Yeah, it comes in a little at the side, so... right around here. Yeah, right around here.
Take that!
Naruhodo-san would never give up, and I'm on Naruhodo now. The true culprit who fatally stabbed Miss Brett, concealed in this location here.
Are you mad, counsel? You're suggesting that the culprit was outside the hut! What? Order, order, order! But the student laid out Hodon Esquire. That makes no sense at all. You just pointed the exact spot where I was hiding to get my scoop snap. But I don't see any suspicious individuals loitering about. I can swear to that. Obviously, if the culprit had been outside the hut, there's no way he or she could have stabbed the victim who was inside the hut.
Actually, Prosecutor Ouchie, there is a way. And, in point of fact, The defense can provide evidence strongly suggesting that is precisely the way Miss Brett was killed.
You're bluffing! You're bluffing! You yo! The defense accusation is clearly too fantastical for the court to comprehend. You will need to give us more guidance, counsel. What piece of evidence corroborates your theory that the victim was stabbed from outside the hut?
Well, I've presented it now. But I haven't the first idea why I chose this piece of evidence.
Did I choose the wrong one?
Yes.
What do you mean, yes? Counsel shows this piece of evidence bears to your theory as to how your victim was stabbed.
It's something of a windfall, Your Excellency.
And what you're looking for, counsel, was a downfall! If your theory is correct, then the knife was thrust into Miss Beckett's back from the outside of the hut. There should be a visible trace somewhere.
A trace, yes, on the hut itself. Armed with that idea, I must look through the court record. Your Excellency, the defense would like to present a different piece of evidence.
Go ahead! Wait. Oh. Okay, fair enough. That's some bullshit there, though. The original photographic print of the scene of the crime!
Yes, it's clearly visible in this print. The trace of the fatal thrust that was delivered from outside the beach hut.
Do you take us for fools? There's no hint of any such thing!
I'm not sure that everyone present would agree. Someone, at least, appears to have noticed what it is I'm referring to.
Counsel, once again I must call on you to be explicit for the court. Where on this photograph is a trace of the stabbing you claim took place outside the hut.
Look closely just here.
I think that these kind of like moments are just for like, we know you click every piece of evidence all the time. We're going to fucking stop you. He's like, I feel like that's what this moment is.
In the screen at the back of the hut, you can see the effects of a blade having been forced through the reeds.
No, I can't see such a thing!
It's true that the hut in question had 4 walls, as you'd expect, however. By parting the reeds, a knife blade could easily penetrate them.
This is extraordinary.
Yes. The true culprit actually stabbed the victim from outside the beach hut. To everyone present at the scene, there is only one person who could have done that. Only one person who was directly outside the hut when Miss Brett was killed. Right in many Memo-san. It could have only been you.
No! Oh, that was a little too ouchy. The proportionally leaves me almost speechless. Just look at the photograph again. The victim is almost exactly in the center of the beach hut, does she not? Are we to assume that as part of this farcical scenario, this cell is also a knife thrower?
No, you idiot. Of course not.
You stupid, bald idiot. We're not!
If you'll recall the testimony of the defendant about the events just before the victim's death.
Inside the beach hut, I was confronted by Miss Brett. But she just sat on a stool on the back of the hut, smiling sweetly at me as if she knew she was untouchable.
Stool?
Have another look at the photograph. The slit in the reed screen would align perfectly with the back of a person who was sitting on that stool.
My word! So, in fact, the victim was...
Killed while sitting on that stool by a stab wound to her back delivered through the reed screen. Having been attacked, Miss Brett rose to her feet instinctively. But then, unable to speak, she collapsed on the floor in the middle of the hut. Before the defendant, Membami-san's appalled eyes. And that, Your Excellency, is the truth of what happened on the beach that day. By your silence, many Memo-san. I take it that you don't deny the charge.
This is absurd! That will do. It would appear that we have a tacit admission of guilt from the witness. Accordingly, this court has successfully established the truth of this matter, which means that the defendant, Mem-san, is innocent of the crime. This is way too easy. What's happening?
Oh, thank goodness.
Something that's not line up right.
Finally made him cave.
I must say I've never been more proud. No! This can't be! The Ocean Clan can't! What are my growth? My growth! Oh, I hate this saying. It wasn't an apparition! I can't accept this! I won't! I see no reason for the continuance of this trial. It's gonna continue. This doesn't feel right. This doesn't feel... I feel like there's gonna be a... Wait! I'm not actually the murderer. I was tickling her by sticking a finger in their thing. Like, that's worse, actually, now that I say that. Wow. I will therefore But I know, I said stupid things, Chip. Well, this is all very convenient. This is how the highest court in our mighty empire delivers justice, is it? I'm not clipping that, but yeah, thank you very much. Suppressing well-meaning citizens' freedom to speak and branding them as criminals.
But we've established that the victim was stabbed from outside the hut through the reed screen walls.
And no one but you was in place at the time to have his hand on the hilt of the blade. It's a perfectly logical deduction. So your argument hinges on the location of whoever stabbed the Englishwoman, does it? Well, it seems like a little irrelevant now.
Irrelevant?
Where she was stabbed, how she was stabbed, it doesn't matter. I mean, whether she was stabbed at all doesn't make a difference if you think about it, after all. This trial's already shown the whole thing hinges on something else!
What are you talking about?
Brace yourselves, little man! I'm talking about the fact that everything's changed! Because of the dirt you dug up!
What?
Now we're going to talk about the poison. Enough obscurity, explain yourself, witness. What's to explain? I'm talking about the poison, of course. Oh, poison? Oh, fuck. Let's ask the professor for a comment on the situation, shall we? I understand that the deadly poison you're developing was stolen from your laboratory, correct? And to show that the poison was administered to the victim, Miss Brett. Is that right? That is correct. The unusual constriction of the victim's pupils are a sure sign that the particular poison was used. I see. So, presumably that means that the victim already had the poison in her body before she was stabbed.
Ah.
Given that her pupils were clearly constricted, it seems highly likely, yes. If she had been dead already, the poison could not have circulated in her blood. Ah, how refreshing to hear the argument of a metropolitan mind.
Not a Yoko.
Precisely matters not a Jah who stabbed the victim. I mean, it kind of does. Whom and these whose back and whom's blade. Case solved, baby. The poison's in the pen. That's what I think too. Yeah. But because the English woman's life was taken by the knife, but the poison.
But that can be explained by the poison being on the blade, as I already...
Forgot it already, have we, yokel? During these very proceedings, the laboratory of the professor, your side assistant providing, the blade of the weapon used to attack the victim had no trace of poison whatsoever.
Ugh.
So let me get this down. The facts, as skillfully established by the defense of this trial, turned out to be a headline-making red herring. Is that about right?
Well... Ah!
Order. But where does this leave us? How, in that case, did the poison enter the victim's body? There is an undeniably obvious answer to that. The lady most likely imbibed it.
You mean she drank it?
Having a look at the photograph here, as you can see. A bottle of carbonated water and a glass had been knocked over on the sandy floor of the beach hut. The poison could have been slipped into either.
So somebody made Miss Brett drink it.
Well, what do you know? Look at those dashing eyes. This will make a great front page shot. Hey! Why the bewitching stare? After all, I'm the last person you should be looking at. It would make no sense that I poisoned the woman, would it? I mean, that's been established already.
Established? What are you talking about?
Don't tell me you've forgotten. That's a little hard to believe, given the person who established it was you!
Me? What on earth does he mean?
Oh, let me capture those wide eyes. The prime press fodder this is. It would seem that this trial is not destined to end yet after all. I hereby call upon the witnesses to give further testimony. That's great, that is. Let me get a shot of that magnificent beard, Your Excellency. You claim it to be impossible that you were the one responsible for administering the poison to the victim. You will explain to the court in your testimony the basis upon which you make such a claim. I'm a journo. I'm a man. I never try to run or hide from anything in my life except for the fact that I murdered someone out of cold blood by poisoning them and then stabbing them and leaving way too many traces back there and being really sloppy about my job. And I'm not about to start now because that's memoism.
For a brief moment, I thought I had illuminated the truth, but slipped right back into obscurity again. Just where is this trial going to take us?
Oh yes, I stabbed the English one. Okay. And that's the very fact that proves I'm innocent. Yeah, I stabbed her! It was my intent to kill her, and that's why I'm innocent. Fucking incredible. Holy shit. This is as much fucking logic that Matt Ungard had saying, yeah, I called to kill her. I didn't directly kill her with the poison. I just did it out of the way. Like, oh my god. This is like, this is the same kind of bullshit logic. I love it. It's great. It's horrible. Let's kill this guy next, right? So I would have better stab a woman if I'd already poisoned her. When I heard the student girl and that pompous English murderer arguing, I got my goat. The courts weren't going to punish Brett for what she did. Someone else wanted the justice done. So you fully intended to kill her?
So you admit it then? Everything happened as I described? That you are the one who stabbed Miss Brett in the back through the reed screen?
You can blame this miserable country of ours. A country that passed the— oh my god. That's not how this works! You're still a murderer! What kind of feature can a country like that have? That's why I did it! I did what our prophetic leaders didn't have the guts to do. Slap bang in the middle of the charming lady's back, I plunged that blade of sweet justice right in there. As someone who spends his life seeing that the truth is told, I feel really, really awful about giving false information in my testimony before. But if it turns out There was somebody else who had it in for the victim and got her before me. That's right, you guessed it. That pretty little student girl, and now there's a woman after my own heart.
You're implicating Ray again.
She's the one who gave the poison to the English woman and ended her pitiful existence. And suddenly, snap! This Jono here's off the hook. The argument is sound, certainly. No, it's not. If the witnesses had administered the poison himself, he would need to have only waited for it to take effect. Subsequently, stabbing the victim in the back would have been entirely nonsensical. And therefore, the reporter had nothing to do with the poisoning. Yes, it's all quite logical. That's right, it is logical and true. I'm glad you've seen the light. Justice at last.
This is unbelievable. After I'd made so much progress in proving his guilt, is he going to get away with it now?
Yee.
Think of Kazuma-sama and Naruhodo-san. They never stopped looking for a way forward until the judge's final gavel. Well, there it is.
Case
All
solved.
of that, boys.
Time to end this stream here, guys. Y'all stay safe, stay Botanist Cool. I'll see you later. Very well, counsel. Proceed with what I assume to be your final cross-examination in this trial. That's the game
Yes, Your
telling it.
Excellency.
That's the game telling us this is the final cross-examination in this trial. Alright, I do want to see if we can do something real quick. I want to unscrew the pen real quick. I'll see if we can put the reagent in here. Like now, or if we can't. No, we can't. Okay. Okay.
You missed it.
Yeah, I did.
The label appears to be written in a foreign language that I don't know.
Is that English? Oh. It's German. So your knowledge of English is going to be of little help here, I'm afraid.
Couldn't you have just written medicine on it in Japanese, then we'd all be able to read it?
What? Maybe back in the day. German is the international language of medicine, my dear. But yes, I can certainly see the merit in labeling the bottle in Japanese. Though I'm not sure medicine would be entirely appropriate. Anything else I can do with this bottle? No.
Hold it!
So, you do admit that you had murderous intentions towards Miss Brett, then?
Ha! The woman's very existence offended my sense of justice.
Your sense of... He's claiming some sort of righteous indignation.
She was pure evil, cold-blooded killer who committed murder right here on our empire's soil. But did so for good-for-nothing government. Do anything? Not a chance, so I had to step in. Fly the flag of justice, put the things right for the people. Yes, it was my civic duty that drove me to do it.
So, in summary, murderous intentions, then.
Whatever you want to call it, the point is this. That Englishwoman was a blight, so I had to do what was right for society. Yeah, real wrong was done by the student girl in the dock. A crime she must pay. Obviously, because the poisoning was nothing to do with me at all. I actually have a lawyer friend I could ask and be like, hey, quick question. If someone poisoned someone, and then someone stabbed them, both with the intent to murder, and neither the poison nor the stabbing were completely, like, they both would have killed at the same time. or maybe one was just slightly before the other, like would have technically been killed. Who would be guilty?
So this reminds me, there's like this weird case out there somewhere where it's like a funny case of like a guy, trigger warning or whatever.
Well, Chip agreed.
Pardon?
Chip said both, and I'm like, Chip, I agree, but apparently this court doesn't. So
There was a case where like, what happened was someone jumped out of a window intending to commit suicide, and then there was like a fight going on in another apartment, and that person shot a gun trying to kill someone, missed, and shot the guy falling to his death.
what?
So there was a big to-do about like who's at fault for the death, who's getting charged with what. It's very confusing. You know, because it's like, well, the guy was on his way out, but got shot midair. So
This is a real case.
But if it wasn't the person's intention to shoot them, but it was the person's intention to shoot someone else. So it was like a whole thing about trying to figure out what if any was the charge. Just because it was a due to like legal definitions and stuff, it was messy to just be like, all right, what exactly would the accusation even be here? Or something like that. I forget what it was. I'll have to try and find it, but...
Okay. Yeah, please find that, because I'm very curious now. Was it a quick death? Or no, I assume because they were shot, it was a quick death. As falling probably would not have been a quick death. I mean, I guess it's... Anyways. We'll leave that there for the research in the future.
So you still maintain that you didn't give the poison to the victim?
Obviously, that'd be like putting a belt on your trousers when you're already wearing braces like these. The accused administered the poison, following which the witness stabbed the victim. An unforgivable act, certainly, but not one of murder. He only stabbed her to murder her, but because something else may have actually gotten to her before he did, it wasn't actually murder. God, I want to use this in the court. If this argument's ever used in a fucking court of law, holy shit! Like, if this actual argument, the other one you mentioned makes sense, right? Like,
I mean, all right. So here's an equivalent. Let's say I was shooting an arrow at someone to kill them, and I shot at them and they duck out of the way, but they duck out of the way into a person who then, like, wants to stab them with a knife. Am I responsible for the death? Do I get, since I caused them to move to the person who stabbed them?
manslaughter. Wait.
But what if I intended to shoot at them?
All right, so Laura,
I intend to shoot at someone.
Let's say that
they dodge out of the way. I do not know about the person with the knife. We are not in cahoots.
yes.
But the person with the knife wouldn't have gotten the opportunities to stab them if they had moved into position because they were dodging my thing.
If you end up killing someone that you did not intend to kill, that is manslaughter.
That's not what I said. There's no accidental here.
If you murder, but who said them also murder? Look, here's what you're saying, right? All right. So from what I understand, what you're getting at is, there's two people, person A and person B. You're shooting an arrow at person A. Person A gets out of the way. You do not know person B exists, and you accidentally hit person B.
No.
Okay.
I'm saying, okay. This person. So I am A.
Yeah. No, you are you. You are you.
I am me. I am Katie.
Then there's A and B.
Katie hates person A.
All right.
Katie shoots an arrow at person A.
Yes.
Person A sees the arrow and goes, "Oh shit," and tries and dodge out of the way. Meanwhile, person B also wants to kill person A. But they can't reach. They're too far away. But person A gets into their reach because they're dodging my arrow. Then person B stabs them. I was not working with person B.
You're not a murderer at that point.
You're
not a murderer. You did do attempted murder, but this is more along the lines of here's what this is, right? This is more along the lines
that's what I'm saying is like that's like slightly divorced from this.
Using your analogy, here's what's happening, right? You shot an arrow, and while your arrow was mid-flight, some dude stabbed the person you shot an arrow at, and then your arrow went through the dude.
No.
Yes, because both of these. Here's the thing, right?
My arrow missed entirely.
No, but here's the thing: the dude still stabbed her, and she got the poison. So two deadly things happened at the same time, right? So your arrow was shot, and while your arrow was in the air, person B stabbed person A. Then your arrow hit person A. So it died from a stabbing and an arrow, but technically the stabbing was first. You see why this is such fuckery?
Yeah.
This is such bullshit. I still think they're both murderers. Don't get me wrong; they both intended to kill. They just happened to kill at the same time. It's like who killed Who killed Caesar? Like 27 people stabbed him.
Well, actually, I think the argument is more like this because like she was like slowly bleeding out, but like would have lived. So like I think it's more like this. I think it's more like instead of just being stabbed again. Sorry for images, people, but if person B had entirely cut off their head and then they got stuck with the arrow, because the point is one way they're entirely dead. It's not a like, you know what I mean, where it's like they were already dead by the time the second thing happened. Is the argument, I think. Like,
they admitted she was still alive though. They admitted she was still alive though.
She was still alive, but what killed her was the poison, not the bleeding out. I think. Actually, they can't prove that, so yeah, actually.
Hold on, what was her?
If they could have proved.
She had a collapsed lung. Her lung was gonzo. She would have died in minutes. Actually, I do have a doctor.
Yeah, actually, they can't prove that the poison killed her first, so what the hell?
I know, thank you. Thank you.
Like, another way they would be able to. And I think this is like partially writing because it's like we didn't actually prove that she died of the poison first.
Yeah.
Technically, I don't think we even proved that she died of poison, just that she had the meiosis.
If
and that
a lung
poison was used, maybe.
Oh, wait. Can you live with one lung? Most people can buy off one lung instead of two if needed. Usually one lung can provide enough oxygen to remove enough carbon dioxide unless the other one is damaged. Alright, if you're I'm sorry, FBI guy reading my Facebook history. If you're stabbed in the lung, how long do you live? If I were stabbed in the neck or the lung, this is a core question. I'm not gonna. If you puncture your lungs like a stabbing, it's perfectly possible to survive. I guess.
It's modern medicine.
Yeah, to be fair, it is modern medicine. Okay, you know, I'll ask Rokuro next time he's on stream. It'll just be really weird. Like, hey, Rokuro, I got a morbid medical question for you, buddy. Buddy, old pal. FBI, open up! Yeah, FBI
we gotta get going, because I don't want to go too late with the stream, but...
That is how the law works, you see. Yokel. Who knows? You may even learn something here today.
No, I'm pretty sure that... I tried to play devil's advocate and give it my best possible defense, but no, you can't prove that the poison killed her first.
Yeah.
You can't prove whether it was the blood loss or the poison that got her first.
Or the collapsed lung.
Because it would be not whatever happened first, but whatever killed her first.
2 consecutive attempts on her life in the space of minutes. Quite a day for the victim. Do something that evil and you got it coming. That's how the law works. That's the law of reckoning.
That's not the kind of law this court upholds.
You will reiterate why you were compelled to stab the victim, then, witness.
Your Honor, her vibes were...
Her vibes were whack, baby.
What exactly were they arguing about?
About what happened in the restaurant 9 months ago. That's what you changed the last time. You said I stole it, I didn't steal it. Okay, you lied. So the girl was laying into the Englishwoman for killing her beloved mentor, Dr. Wilson. Yes, Dr. John H. Wilson, professor of medicine, invited here from England by Professor Mikotoba, no less. Right, but the Englishwoman just jeered. Her case is to be heard by the British consular court in Shanghai, however. There's little doubt she would simply have been acquitted and sent back to her homeland a free woman. It was eating me upset as you can see it, and I really fell for her. That's gonna be, what's his name, Soseki. Nope. Oh.
I can't. I can't stand here and listen to this tripe. Ray.
Young girl, you said accuser, you can't blurt out whatever you like. No, you can't. Sorry, but I'm in the middle of something very important testimony here. Just keep quiet and listen.
But this awful man is making all of this up. Dusato, please, you have to make them listen.
Return to the dog I was, Mbambi-san. We are in the middle of a cross-examination.
Your Excellency, please, I implore you. That journalist is clearly not a trustworthy witness.
Exactly. He's a filthy, rotten, black-hearted, bigoted, dirty, great peeping Tom.
Well, take it easy there.
Please, I really think the court should hear what the defendant has to say.
Your Excellency, I see no need whatsoever to entertain the accused's remarks. I will grant the request of the defense. But, Your Excellency! This is likely to be the final cross-examination of the proceedings. Oh, wow. As such, I believe it would be ill-advised to stifle the defense's obvious concerns. So, whilst recognizing this is the contravenes regular protocol, I hereby call upon the defendant to speak.
Oh. Thank you so much, Your Excellency. It was nothing to do with Dr. Wilson. We were discussing the stolen poison.
The stolen poison that killed the victim, you mean?
I suspected her of being the one to steal it. I mean, just think about how she killed Dr. Wilson.
That's true. Additionally, Miss Brett certainly had knowledge of the new poison. But certainly be no easy task for her to steal such a highly secret toxin being developed for the government. Indeed, all visitors to the laboratory were thoroughly searched when they leave. Even if a thief managed to avoid being seen by myself or a colleague, getting the poison out would be very difficult. That's true! I passed Professor Mutaba until he agreed to show me the poison when I first visited his lab. But as I left, I searched for top of the tail. Miss Brett rather bluntly revealed the existence of the toxin we've developed, you see. As Soseki Asano expressed interest in it, I felt unable to refuse. Obviously, I gave nothing away other than the fact that it was an extremely potent substance. I'm very ashamed of myself, it's just that I've had such a singularly terrible experience with the deadly poison. I wanted to look my old enemy in the eye, surely you can understand that.
To find out if my suspicions were true, I confronted Miss Brett about the poison. I told her that if there were to be an incident involving it somehow, it wouldn't just be the university. The military would be dragged into it, the whole government even. It would be a complete disaster.
And how did Miss Brett respond to your concerns?
She just curled those beautiful lips of hers and said she didn't know the first thing about it. In English, actually.
Ah, yes, remember your own time. One small question, if you don't mind. I do, Mike. Can't you see I'm busy? Clearly, you're outside the beach hut listening in, whilst the defendant and Miss Brett were conversing. Presumably, then, it was you who wrote this article about what you've heard. Exclusive. Deadly poison stolen from Humane Medical Research Laboratory. The story was published in the morning's edition of Shoyo News. The details are too accurate for it to have been written by anyone else. Sorry, don't know what you're talking about.
Yes, look at this. The entire article is almost what I said to Miss Brett, word for word.
Eh!
Well, many memo-san.
As a journal and as a citizen of a free country, I don't reveal my sources. Founding principle of many memoism.
Father's clearly right about this. That reporter did write that article, and he based it on what he overheard from outside the hut. So that's what it was all about. You were trying to cover up the fact that you were listening in. That's why you came up with that stinking story about me arguing with her.
Shut up! My stories never stink. Look, whatever you say, little girl, it doesn't alter the facts. Your Excellency, there's something I want to say, and I wanted to go on the record. Very well, you may amend your formal testimony. The point is, if you poison someone, there's no reason to go and stab that person as well.
Perhaps you doubted the efficacy of the poison and sought to make sure your victim would die.
That's horse dung.
What?
That'd be like pouring pepper into your Chinese ramen before you even taste it. Completely reckless. Although it might surprise you to learn that I'm a bit of an impetuous pepper pourer as it happens.
Once the victim had taken the poison, she would have been only minutes away from death. And yet, this man then proceeded to stab her in the back as well. There has to have been a good reason for that.
Did she try to kill herself at the beaches of Japan? So she did have to face the consequences of her actions? If it was the reporter who gave the poison to Miss Brett, then clearly he must have done it prior to Ray entering the hut.
Yes, that's undeniable.
But between him leaving the hut and the victim being stabbed, there was one very crucial change in the situation.
Sorry? What change?
The reporter overheard the conversation between Ray and the Englishwoman.
Ah, yes, that's it. That's when Memory Memo San first found out the nature of the poison he'd used. That could be the key here.
No. If the victim had unwillingly taken the poison already, the reporter would have had no reason to stab her. On the face of it, the logic sounds entirely reasonable.
But there's no question that this man was responsible for Miss Brett's murder.
If we could think of the plausible explanation to why he might have stabbed her, even after the poisoning, I feel that everything would drop into place, and that's what we're looking for.
Yes, I agree. And in order to do that, I must try to glean more information.
I think I pressed everything, though. All right. What am I looking for, though? That's my question. Save? Yeah, good. Thank you for reminding me, Chip. I'll save real quick. So what I have to do is I have to find a reason why he would have stabbed her even though...
I don't remember. It's been so long that I haven't played.
I have a theory.
I have a theory too. I just don't know how I'd prove it.
Here's my theory. My theory is the reason why he stabbed her was because he took the poison somehow. He always follows Soseki Natsume, so he took the poison somehow, right? Or perhaps something happened. He administered the poison. The thing was, what he did not realize is that other people knew. I think what he did not account for is the fact that she would be like questioned about it. So he's just like, in order to get her to shut up, he had to take her out before the poison could take effect. So that would make sense as to why he'd stab her, because, oh my god, she's talking to someone. She might say something like, oh yeah, no, so-and-so had it or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know how to prove that. I feel like this poison article might help. I don't know how.
I have a slightly different theory.
What's yours?
And I can't. I don't know if I should say it because, like, it might be me partially remembering, or it might be me coming up with it again. Because it's been a minute, but I have played it before. So, do you still want me to say it?
Yeah, share your theory.
I think it's that, he didn't know about the symptoms of the poisoning, and now the person in there with Miss Brett knew the symptoms of the poison and potentially how to cure it, so
yeah.
It wouldn't necessarily be a guaranteed kill.
Mm-hmm. That's a good point. That's a very good point.
I don't remember. I don't know if that's right, or I don't know anything.
I mean, I think either way, it leads you to the same area where it's along the lines of someone who knew about the poison came, and his plans had to change. Therefore, I think the poison article is actually going to be the one to present here.
Objection!
Yeah!
Well, I can think of one reason. Now we'll find out which.
What?
But before I explain, I'd like you to confirm something for the court. Did you glean all the information for this newspaper article from what you overheard outside the hut?
Of course you did! There can be no question of that! After all, when we were all in the laboratory together, we all were told it was a terrible toxin!
And there's one more important fact to consider. According to the witness, Membami-san's verbal attack against the victim began as soon as she entered the hut. In other words, it would have been impossible for her to have slipped the poison into Miss Brett's drink.
Objection!
Where are you going with this, counsel?
Memo-san had made it quite clear that he observed every single thing that happened in the beach hut. If the defendant had somehow found an opportunity, this man would have seen it.
Which means that Miss Brett couldn't have imbibed the poison while the defendant was present. In fact, it must have been administered to her before Membami-san entered the hut. Yes, very articulately put.
When I walked into the hut, I immediately started to press Miss Brett about the poison.
At which point, Memo-san overheard some worrying information.
Worrying information? What worrying information?
The information which he subsequently included in his newspaper article, namely, that the poison was being developed in strict secrecy, and that it couldn't be readily obtained.
Absolutely. In fact, it's quite an understatement. The only possible place it could come from is my lab.
And furthermore, anyone afflicted by the poison would exhibit telltale signs in death.
The extreme constriction of the pupils. Yes, it's quite stark when you see it. There are other poisons that show similar poison symptoms, but not among new substances that are undetectable.
In other words, it would be clear that the victim's life had been ended by the use of this particular poison, which would reduce the number of suspects to only a handful of people.
Ah! Everyone in my laboratory is aware of the unique properties of the toxin we're developing. None of them would be foolish enough to attempt to use it in some nefarious deed. Mabi-san being no exception.
Therefore, we can conclude that whoever administered this unique poison to the victim was a layperson unaware of its telltale properties. In other words, someone like you. Write in many memo.
Ah! No. Ah!
It was you who stole the poison from that laboratory that day. It was you who administered it to the unwilling victim. But you quickly realized that it was a terrible mistake.
Because the poison caused such unusual symptoms and was so traceable.
As you listened in from the far side of the beach's thin walls, you learnt of these facts. But you'd already given the victim the poison at that point. It was too late. So you hatched a plan to disguise your mistake. A plan that involved stabbing the victim in the back through the reed screen.
But what good could I possibly do?
Isn't it obvious, Counsel? The plan was to kill Miss Brett before the poison could take effect.
Once in the blood, the poison causes the onset of pupil constriction. We had hoped to precipitate the victim's death before that happened, hadn't he?
Exactly. Because without any revealing signs of the new secret poison's use, no one would have ever suspected.
This is extraordinary.
Yes, the effects of the poison meant it would be too easily identified, so the killer had to mask its use. Which he attempted to do by plunging a knife into the middle of the victim's back.
Order, order, order. The argument presented is sound. The court is satisfied with the warrants of the consideration. Does the prosecution have any counter argument it wishes to put forward? Well, there are a number of, yes, I can put a counter completely.
The prosecution's evasive response clearly shows that in much the same way as he nurtures the remnants of his top knot, he is clinging to lost hope.
You bald bitch, let's go. Lost hope! Yeah, just get together, many memo-san. You pathetic, useless fallen samurai! Fallen, who you call the— I don't need a counter-argument!
What are you talking about?
It should be blatantly obvious. I stole the poison, you say, gave it to the victim, you say, stabbed her, you say, lots of fine theories. But I don't need a counter-argument, you don't have an argument yourself, where's your evidence? Yes, you make it all sound so plausible, don't you? Without evidence, it means nothing. Whereas I base my news on facts. Facts? What do you mean? Explain yourself. I mean, what the professor said earlier in this trial. It's all here in my many memos. Every word, every slip of the tongue, all noted. This will show you who's famous for the power of the printed word. It surely be no easy task to steal a highly secretive toxin being developed for the government. Indeed, all visitors in the laboratory are thoroughly searched when they leave. Even if the thief managed to avoid being seen by myself or a colleague, getting the poison out would be very difficult. How's that then? Blown the story wide open. See, I write a mini memo. A mere reporter from the Shoyo News. Couldn't possibly have stolen the poison from the professor's laboratory. Girl, we got this covered. Stop banging yourself.
I know,
This is not.
It's the intro case.
Yeah, you're no scare right now. You're good, girl. Yeah, exactly, Chip. Exactly.
He must have stolen the poison that day. He stole it and used it to kill. If that's the case, as you've identified, the poison itself is the definitive evidence we need. Because whoever stole it from the laboratory that day is the true culprit here.
What's your point, you annoyingly handsome country bumpkin?
My point is this. There is one way that you, Many Memo-san, could have stolen the poison that day.
I've heard enough verbal conjecture now, thank you. What the court must show is evidence. What proof do you have of this witness stole the poison the day in question?
Proof, Your Excellency, is this fountain pen.
A fountain pen? How could that possibly be relevant?
These magical pens somehow seem to have enough ink to write many thousands of kanji characters. I believe they arrived in our country for the first time some 15 years ago now.
I swear the weasel hair calligraphy brush and nothing else. These newfangled pens are merely a fad. Well, as a fast forward, but I obviously love my fountain pen. Second to similar scumbag thinker once work has washed at the words in the blink of an eye.
That's right. Fountain pens have a small reservoir in the barrel, into which ink is sucked up through the nib of the pen in order to write with later.
What is all this talk about sucking ink have? Ah!
Just as possible to suck up ink into the reservoir. It's also possible to eject it through the nib again, of course.
My word, can this really be?
Well, Many Memo-san. When you saw the deadly poison before your eyes in the laboratory that day...
Sorry, for some reason McAfee is just coming up right now.
You used your fountain pen, your very lifeblood, to steal some of it, didn't you? By siphoning the poison up through the nib and into the pen's reservoir.
Ah!
Attention!
More absurdity! That never happened!
True, we've heard that there are procedures in place to prevent thefts like this from the laboratory. But would anyone have thought to look inside a fountain pen of all places?
No, I'm a little ashamed to say that for fear of offending our guests, such a detailed search would have not been conducted. Well, this is quite startling, I must say.
I remind the court that this pen was found in the clutches of the victim as she died. In other words, it was dropped at the scene by Many Memo-san. So the crucial question is, when exactly was the pen dropped?
Are you suggesting?
The natural conclusion is that in your haste to act while the victim was distracted for a moment, you dropped the pen after you emptied the poison from it into her glass.
There could be any number of alternative explanations. For example, the witness could have been using his pen to write down details of her conversation with the victim. And when shocked by one of her outrageous answers, the pen fell from his quivering hand.
No, that can't be. If it was, how do you explain why the pen was devoid of ink?
What?
So you can see for yourself if you examine the evidence, as there would appear to be no ink present in the reservoir. What newspaper reporter goes to interview someone with nothing in his pen? No, the pen was dropped after the poison that filled its reservoir had been emptied into the victim's glass.
Witness, what do you have to say in your defense? So this is how our modern justice system works, is it? So what if the ink in my pen runs dry? So what if my pencil snaps? Oh my god, it does have like 4 more. I can always claw my way back into the game. I have plenty in reserve.
I am Wolverine.
You claim I sucked the poison into my pen. That's wild speculation, nothing more. If you thought you could bring him down a fine, upstanding citizen will trick like that thing again. Looks as though it's gonna take one final decisive blow to finish this matter. As I see it, the situations are very simple. It rests upon whether or not this witness did indeed steal the poison on the day in question. And therefore, it all depends on whether or not the defense can prove he did with the evidence. No such evidence could possibly exist.
Many Memo-san, this is how our modern justice system works.
What?
In the courtroom, evidence is everything. Something you would do well to remember. Because we are well past the point of speculation at this stage, I assure you.
Very well, then. I call upon the defense to present its aforementioned evidence.
This is it, then. This will be the final piece in the puzzle.
Memo-san, lick this pen.
The defense can prove this by means of this item. That was the witness's... It was the witness's pen that was used to steal the poison.
Counsel, what is in this bottle?
This bottle contains the unique chemical reagent that can identify the poison in question.
Ah! Yes, that poison is certainly a new synthesis of alkaloids developed by my colleagues and I. It would be impossible to detect traces of it by any other method.
Or, from another perspective, simply within this chemical reagent, anybody at all could check for traces of the poison.
A reagent? What?
One drop of the contents of this bottle on the tip of your fountain pen, Memo-san, is all it will take to solve this case beyond all reasonable doubt.
No, you can't. I won't.
Your crimes are bad enough, but at least know when to admit defeat.
Your Excellency. The defense requests permission to carry out the test on the fountain pen at once.
Yeah! This is my fault. This is trying to hold it out of civilization by back and forth. I took up arms to form in the military pen. Justice and righteousness.
Sato, with me! I'm there.
Did I do it right? Was that a Susato takedown? That was a Susato takedown, wasn't it?
Not quite. That was a Ryotaro takedown.
Damn, we just assaulted a guy in court.
The instant the first drop of the reagent touched the nib of the fountain pen, it was clear to everyone present.
And I saw there in the lab the poison. The devil got hold of me and offered me chili dogs to kill her. Think of all the chili dogs I could have had! And the Chaos Emeralds! I excused myself and emptied all the ink in the sink in the bathroom, washing the reservoir out carefully.
And then you waited for an opportunity to suck up some of the poison, didn't you? Into your fountain pen.
Yeah, that's right. That's really one thing, Memo-san. Why did you steal it? For what purpose? Isn't it obvious to find out what it was made of and expose it in an article? I mean, it's a secret project after all, too juicy for a Jonah like me to pass up. Then why did the Englishwoman end up dead? I went there intending to quiz her on the situation, that's all. As a reporter, a known killer enjoying full freedom, fading justice by leaving the country, I told her what I thought about it. And she just laughed in my face.
Oh, what's this? A Far Eastern caveman purporting to practice journalism. Really, you must learn the difference between reporting and listening at doorways. You ignorant plebeian.
Damn. What? What did you just call me?
This country, with its pretensions to a justice system, to a free press, it's really very depressing. You see our superior ways in the West, yet you lack the mental capacity to emulate them. Get out of here, you oaf. Get out and crawl back into the cave you came from.
Jesus.
And suddenly we all side with Many
Suddenly we all side with Benny Menno, yeah. That's when I remembered about the deadly poison I happened to have in my pen at the time. What a terrible tale. In my head, I knew I should just get out of there as soon as quickly as possible, but I couldn't. Couldn't let her get away with what she's done, when she clearly had no remorse at all. I suppose it was my Jonah spirit getting all fired up.
I'd like to ask you something.
Yeah?
You often talk about justice. But surely as a journalist you could have used other means to deliver the justice you sought.
There's no justice in the press.
Sorry?
After that trial 9 months ago, I kept digging and digging and found out what happened in the courtroom. And finally, I discovered the truth. It was a cover-up, that's what it was!
A cover-up? What do you mean?
I would remind you of your position, witness. Be careful what you say. Oh, come on, doesn't it strike you as strange? We're suddenly not allowed to convict a foreign national? Consular adjudication never should have come into it. And yet the puffed-up Englishwoman was going to sail away in the sunset, a free woman. The only possible explanation is that behind the scenes had some deal going on between Britain and Japan.
What sort of deal?
I've done my research, dug up all the dirt that was already be published. You know what happened? The editor just tore up the article. He came under pressure from the government, you mean? If our government is going to let criminals walk free, they're going to crush the free. If they're going to crush the free press, what choice do I have but to get justice is done myself?
Let's not forget, Many Memo-san, that you committed murder yourself and you tried to lay the blame at the defendant's door. I'm sorry, but you're no better than Jezeel Brett.
What?
The truth is, you have no right to talk about justice at all.
I suppose. It would appear that we have reached a conclusion in this trial at last. Counsel for the defense. Retard Naruhodo.
Oh. Yes. Sorry, Your Excellency. Just musing in a manly way here.
It's almost unbelievable this is your first experience in the Supreme Court. It was an excellent performance. In truth, it's very much reminded me of your cousin's exploits.
Oh, Naruhodo-san. Ryunosuke, you mean?
My bro, my homie, my cousin, Yonosuke, we were first name basis, baby. The way you handled the trial 9 months ago and the way you handled this one, it gives me hope that we're genuinely entering a new era of justice in this land.
That's very flattering, Your Excellency.
Hearing the defense you put forward today made me feel most keenly. The future of our justice system will be forged by you and your contemporaries.
Thank you.
So, Prosecutor Ouchi, do you have any final thoughts? He's cutting it off. He's cutting it off.
Prosecutor Ouchi.
He's cutting it off. Hi, Tatsuki! Takatsuchi of the Ouchi clan have been bested by a coward youth not once but twice. If there was any shred of my former self left, it's withered and died here today.
Gosh, your journey to cultural enlightenment sure took a while, didn't it?
Silence! Rather than living on in shame, he's gonna cut off his hair. I will end it all with this blade. For there's a true path of Ouchiism.
Ouchiism?
One hopes it's the only way he'll take. One hopes that's the only way in which he'll be modeling himself after the witness. Cut off your hair, 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 cut off your hair. This is so dramatic, holy shit. Spring of my top knot, the time is right for farewell. Hope is lost forever. Takatsuchi. What is this, like, half epic, half remorseful music that's just like, we have a great sense of loss. He's just cutting off a little bit of his hair, guys.
A slowed down version of Kazuma's theme because Kazuma cut off his hair.
Oh, they whisked away like shining little stars. They're praying! They're praying! They're praying! They're praying! Oh my god! Are you fucking kidding me? They were literally praying as he just cut off his little twig of hair. Oh fuck, that's funny. Let me get a drink of water from that. That fucking got my throat. That just Now, regard to the defendant Ray Mbambi-san.
Yes, Your Excellency.
I have reached my final verdict. I hereby find you not guilty.
Well, if we just said guilty just for that.
Just for the funsies. Oh yes, the sakura petals are actually, when do sakuras bloom? Do they bloom in August?
No, I think August is far too late for them. Or actually, I don't know.
I thought it was June, July for some reason. Court is adjourned. Yep, this is an easy enough question for Google. When do sakura bloom?
I see, between the last week of March and the first week of April.
Oh wow, I was off.
Most likely time. Yeah, I thought it was more of a spring thing.
Yeah, I thought it was early midsummer.
It's over. My heart is still pounding in my chest, though. It's all I can do to just stay standing. Lawyers have such great responsibility. It's such a great burden to bear. Don't they, Naruhodo-san?
I really want Naruhodo and Herlock to just come out from the thing.
Susato! Susato! Thank you. Thank you so much. You were so dashing in there.
I mean, to be fair, everyone did say she was a very handsome man, and I am inclined to agree.
Ray and Father. Honestly, I'm so touched by everything you've... Oh no, I think I'm going to cry. Wasn't easy, but together we made it. I was on the verge of tears at the end, too. The only reason I'm still here is because of you. Oh no, I can't take all the credit. It took courage to tell the truth in there. You did wonderfully, Ray, so I would have to say that the congratulations belong to you.
Oh yes, forget about my contributions.
Susato, don't be so standoffish. Sorry? We're friends, equals, the trial's over, so no more of this formal super humility nonsense. It's time to celebrate with swagger. Throw caution to the wind. Caution to the what? I'm the great defense lawyer, Ryotaro Naruhodo, and I'm taking you out to a milk bar tomorrow. On a date where I'll kiss you.
I love the fact that they brought back. I'm actually laughing at the milk bar part because that's exactly what they did in Majora's Mask to hide the fact that Link was just going to a fucking bar, essentially. And I'm like, are we just saying milk bar here as like a little Legend of Zelda reference here?
Or something. Right, I see. I'll, think about it, Ray. At any rate, we really knocked the wind out of that horrid man, and it felt so good. I now have a proclivity towards violence. Yes, it was satisfying. It really was. Isn't there anybody else we could throw together?
Oh no! Oh no! Mikatoba, run! I hope you're not looking at me, Ray.
Oh my goodness! No, of course not. Of course not. Ah, there it is at last, Ray's lovely smile.
You fought for your friend to the very last, and as your father, I am extremely proud of you. Defense Attorney Ryotaro Naruhodo.
Thank you, but I couldn't have done it without your help. Anyway, it's time to bid farewell to Ryotaro, I think. I shall miss him in a way, but it's back to Susato Mikotoba for now. So, I'll never see him again then. What a terrible shame. You should cross-dress more.
I don't know who this is. Oh! It's gonna be... What?! Oh, yeah, got it right, actually. What is happening?!
Ah, Soseki-san and Inspector Hosonoga. I do hope you've been keeping well.
Is that really you?
Yes, I had to change my appearance for, well, obvious reasons, I hope, but it's me. Susato Mikotoba.
I don't... So dashing, so divine.
We've shattered their understanding of gender. Nope.
No! Doubly dashing, yes, and devilishly divine, just look at you! I had no idea, Mrs. Sato Esquires, that you were locum student Naruhodo-san Esquire's cousin! Especially a stunning ace attorney! Roll credits!
He said the thing!
Roll credits! I hope that the next game, Ace Attorney 7, is the astonishingly astounding Ace Attorney. Wow, we fucking fade to black on this scene. It just.
Poor Soseki-san, so confused.
This old man.
I still remember the first time I ever met him. He was in a prison cell in London. What an extraordinary conundrum it was that the unwitting student from Japan found himself embroiled in. But after Naruhodo-san's skillful defense at the Old Bailey, Soseki-san was free to return to Japan.
Garrett was on like 3 juries, wasn't he?
Now he seems to have earned himself great fame as an author.
I'm stunned. That's truly an impressive disguise. Even I had no idea, and I'm Chief Inspector of the Police Bureau. Who came up with Mr. Turtle, no less? Yeah, a good disguise there, bud. Good disguise. I'm not sure you should be admitting to that, Inspector. Amazing, you're a woman of many faces, I see.
Just 2, really. And this was a once-in-a-lifetime event, I hope.
Until the finale? Until the
No,
finale?
The Great Ace Attorney 3.
Oh, so I was wondering if, like, if in the last case of this game, Ryunosuke gets injured and can't go on, and Ryotaro comes in.
That would be fun.
I
I have many thoughts on the last case of this game.
which we will get to in time, no doubt.
We'll get to in time. Oh, I'm not a patch on you, though, Inspector.
Little bobblehead. Well, I am a professional, of course. Professional idiot.
Professional good boy.
Professional good boy.
I do worry about Inspector Hokunaga sometimes. We really do. 9 months ago, when he appeared here at the Supreme Court to testify, he was undercover, disguised as the head waiter of a restaurant.
That's an easy thing to pull off, yep.
Then on the steamship up to Great Britain, of course, disguised as a sailor to keep us safe on the journey.
That makes sense.
But that didn't help you, did it, Kazuma-sama?
From my perspective, I have to admit I have mixed feelings about all this. I mean, now the truth has been lost forever. What do you mean? I'm talking about the murder that English woman committed at the end of last year. Ah, yes, it was the English doctor she killed, as I understand it. Dr. John H. Wilson, yes, the man I invited to Japan personally. The mystery is, why'd she kill him? And now that the culprit herself is dead, we'll probably never know the answer.
On the voyage to Great Britain, we had a most unexpected encounter with Mr. Herlock Sholmes, the great detective, I mean.
Yes, I remember Mr. Sholmes well, of course. Oh, my arch nemesis! How lightly you utter his name. Well, according to this... Oh.
Well, according to the stories published about him in The Adventures of Herlock Sholmes, the detective once had a partner who helped him solve crimes, a best friend. That man was an exceptional doctor of medicine by the name of John H. Wilson. What? Dr. Wilson? I just can't believe that's a coincidence. I think that the English doctor of medicine killed here in Japan 9 months ago must have been the friend and partner of Mr. Sholmes. And if that's really true, then the poor girl won't ever see her beloved father again.
As you know, I traveled to Great Britain once myself to study. It was around the time you were born.
Yes, grandmother told me about it.
On returning to Japan, I took my professorship at the Imperial Yume University. I also served another role as an advisor to the government on diplomatic affairs.
Yes, I was aware of that as well.
In that case, I'm sure you understand that there are some confidential matters I cannot divulge to you.
Could you just tell me one thing? Why did you summon me back to Japan? It's been 2 months now since I returned. When I left England, it was because an urgent telegram had arrived from Japan. It said that you'd collapsed with a high fever, and you were growing weaker by the day. What? Where did that news come from? That's what I'd like to know, because after that long sea voyage, I found you in fine health, Father. Was there something in Great Britain you perceived might inconvenience me in some way, or harm me? That's really the only explanation I can think of.
Dear me, do you reserve your most cutting glares for your father, Sato? I'm sorry, my dear, I simply can't... There we go! Ha!
Many Memo-san. So, one throw wasn't enough for you.
I have one last thing to say before they take me away, Professor! Me? I know the truth. I know you had a hand in what went on. And that visiting student's fate. Visiting student? Jezebel Brett, you mean? No! The student of law who left for Great Britain 8 months ago.
What? Student of law? He must mean... Kazuma-sama? What are you talking about? What does any of this have to do with Kazuma-sama?
No, nobody here in Japan knows anything about it. They don't know that the guy never made it to England, that he died on the steamship, that he'll never... Ah! Oh, I didn't expect the judge to do Susanoo takedown. Let's go. I also just find it really disturbing that the judge could actually stand. I've never seen this before.
I know, it's like a little jump scare.
It's really surprising. It's actually kind of like very unsettling, the fact that the judge actually knows how to stand. I don't like this. I don't like this at all, Katie. I don't like this. Well, I didn't expect to find him in here. What were you officers playing at? Terribly sorry, Your Excellency. God, he's even taller than I thought he was. I was coming to tell you that Rickshaw had arrived, Eugen, and it's a good job I came by. Yes, thank you for dealing with him, and I'll be there shortly.
Oh, Your Excellency.
The trial's over. I'm not Your Excellency anymore. Merely your father's friend. Seishiro Jigoku. And I mentioned that since I saw you last, you seem to have taken a more dashing appearance. Everyone's been saying that. Susato.
Did you know all along, from the start of the trial?
A judge sees everything, Susato. I couldn't let you take the risk. If Seishiro here hadn't known, then he'd recognize you. So I had a word in his ear beforehand as an old friend. So, Seishiro, shall we? Yes, having ruled with the case, we now have various diplomatic issues to address.
Before you go, Father.
Sorry, my dear, we shall have to return to our earlier conversation at a later date. But well done again, both of you. You did admirably.
Oh, thank you very much.
What did you think of my... What did you think of my Sheshiro sling, eh? It's been a while since I sent a man flying like that.
Where could Father be hiding from me? About Giselle Brett. About Dr. Wilson. And now it seems, according to the reporter, about Katsuma-sama. I'm going to have to bring this up with Father sometime. When nobody else is around.
See you later, Chip. Judicial Assistant Megatoba San Esquires, can I have a word?
Oh, yes, of course, Soseki-san. What is it?
I think perhaps it could be fate that we're meeting again like this now. You see, there's something I need to tell you.
Oh?
I believe that I'm related to the reason why your father summoned you back from England.
This I have to hear.
Please!
Please, Soseki-san, tell me at once.
As you know, my time in England was terrible. Cursed, I have no doubt. Such awful things in the world, and thank goodness local student Naruto Esquire stepped in. After securing my freedom, I couldn't wait to get on this ship back over my homeland. Having arrived in Japan, I submitted a report about my experiences to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. The next thing I knew, I had a visitor. It was your father, Professor Megatoba. He wanted to ask me all sorts of things about my report.
My father?
He seems to be especially taken with a particular part of the report. The Reaper of the Bailey. Anyway, the month eventually thoroughly quizzed me. But it was the very next day that he sent the telegram to you asking you to return to Japan.
What was it then? The particular part my father was interested in.
It has to be the Reaper of the Bailey. I don't really know exactly. But do you remember them? Those two terrible cases I was caught up in?
Of course, I could never forget.
Your father seemed concerned himself mainly with the second case. Which one was that?
It's one that we'll get to next time.
Oh, so we're going back into the past?
We're going to the past, baby.
So we haven't done the second case. See, that's what I was really fucking around with. Because like in my head, like he's mentioned this two cases a few times, and I'm like, maybe he came as a witness on one. I only remember him in one case, but maybe I'll just remember it later on. Is what I was thinking to myself. We haven't played the second case yet. Fuck you, game. That's bullshit.
The second one, you mean? The one Mr. Sholmes forbade any of us to talk about in public. Which is why the only case involving you that any member of the public is aware of is the first.
I don't care! I don't have to listen to what the dastard detective says. Anyways, the point is, seems like it somehow holds the key to all these queries and answer questions. The horrific, hideous, heinous case. The case of the haunted lodgings.
That case somehow caused my father to summon me urgently back to Japan. I thought that whole business was over, but it seems I was wrong. Perhaps that was only the start. Perhaps the story is not yet told.
No shit, I have no idea what's happening yet. Ah, okay. Oh.
Yeah, one the outro.
So, the mystery of that English woman's death is solved, thank goodness. And having stood in the Supreme Court now, I think I can comprehend a little better how you must be feeling as you fight for people's freedom in a foreign land, Naruhodo-san. But actually, I'm writing to you today because of another matter. I met Soseki-san and we talked about that second case he was involved in. Father has said nothing to me, but I feel certain of it. That case holds the key to some great unsolved mystery. My notes on the case should still be in the office, tucked away at the back of the shelves on the left. Perhaps you might like to look over them again. Today, for the first time this year, it feels as though summer has arrived. The sky is a brilliant blue. It makes me long to see you again. Yours, Susato.
Huzzah!
Suspicious as fuck. I guess Susato's success is an achievement. None of this rings right. None of this rings good. This doesn't ring good to me. Something sussy is happening. There's some real sus shit going on. Holy shit. This is some sus ass fucking shit. All right.
All right, but the next one is the Memoirs of the Clouded Kokoro.
The Memoirs of the Clouded Kokoro. Okay, I do have a question though, and I do need to know. Are we eventually gonna get Susato back in the UK?
Eventually.
Okay, but
well, I mean,
I don't know when.
This is a case in the past.
Yeah.
So she's immediately gonna be there.
Yeah. But I'm saying it's for the future. I am curious. Is Susato gonna be back in the UK for like a final confrontation against the Reaper?
She's gonna be back in the UK.
Okay, cool. That's what I want. That's what I was scared. Is she gonna Susato? Is she gonna Susato take down the Reaper, the Bailey?
Do you want an actual answer?
I want a meme right now.
Who's to say?
All right. We'll find out if she's. The only thing I was really curious about was if she's actually getting to the UK. That's the one thing.
She does do a Susato takedown in the courtroom.
Oh yeah, I'm so excited to see this then. So we'll see how she does it later on because that's what I was only interested in. She's actually getting back to the UK. That's what I was interested in. And now that I am, I'm pretty satisfied with not knowing too much else. Today we are going to. Oh, by the way, hey YouTube, if you watched this already, thank you very much for watching. I hope you've been enjoying our Great Ace Attorney playthrough. I've been having a blast with it, and yeah. YouTube, stay safe and stay Botanist Cool, and I'll see you soon.